where now we have technology and they're learn how to do tricky things in the studio. A woman who can't really sing a song, they can fool the public because they have a thing called an auto-tuner. And they can make it look like the girl, the woman, the guy, whoever can sing. They can't sing nothing, hardly. Can't carry a tune in a bucket. In a bucket, you can't even carry it.
Watch out, boom shot. You tell him say there is a nuclear weight and Merman now. So this one here, short shot, it can't stop. Boom shot!
Boom shots.
Like a jazz musician is coming because that's the highest form of creativity in music for me today. The jazz artist who's searching for those notes. And
you often hear producers, Jamaican producers say, me a jazz man, you know. They often claim to be that before they are
I like
reggae.
that. Me a jazz man. Well, the truth is they know that is the highest honor. That's the highest, reaching for the most desirable expression is when you think like a jazz person, but yet grounded. Because in Jamaica we have this word called groundation.
Okay.
Groundation is you're grounded. It must connect with the human soul.
Okay.
And if you're too flighty, which is not a Jamaican tendency, Jamaica's down-to-earth people, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a requirement. That goes without saying. And it has to do with the heartbeat, the pulse that's in the music. That's why reggae, people all over the world love the reggae. It's the heartbeat, you know?
Yeah.
But then along with the heartbeat comes how you express it, you know? So jazz is an honorable word, but very misused in a lot of ways, you know? It can mean anything today. I don't know, jazz, this type of jazz, that type of jazz, this type of jazz. The jazz I heard that made me dream was the original masters, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Nat King Cole. Those were my heroes. They have great guys today, but for me, the ones that inspired me are the pioneers.
I mean, you mentioned you were grounded in Jamaica before the Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley thing blew up.
Guys.
So what was the influence of jazz on the island at the time?
Big, because all those musicians in the studio were jazz-minded guys who, if they had their way, they would have been in New York trying to hang out with Charlie Parker and Miles Davis. That's a fact. If you went to Ernie Ranglin and said, where would you like to be? I would like to be right there with those other great musicians. If you spoke to Tommy McCook, if you spoke to Roland Alfonso, they would they want to be in Jamaica. That's where the sun
and the food is, but
right. But they wanted to be with the creativity. It would have been in New York or London, you know, where a lot of great musicians were as well.
Ernie spent some time.
Ernie spent a lot of time
in London, right?
But he was already a great master of music, and the British people were like, "What? Who's this guy?" You know. So.
What's it like for you? Often, I mean, I hardly, almost never see. I mean, is he on tonight? No.
No, Ernie's not.
But he's tonight. Often. You guys are often together.
Well, it goes back many years. My relationship with Ernie goes back to when I was 10 years old, and he was older than me, and I loved him from then. And he's truly one of Jamaica's greatest artists ever. He's on another level. He's a pioneer of the whole popular reggae music and ska and the whole thing, and one of the finest musicians, period, in the world. And he could and should be a lot more known, you know. But he loves his roots, so he's near Ocho Rios right now. I hope he's sitting back drinking a coconut water and looking at the sea.
I think he is, because one of the things I remember talking to when I've spoken to him, he's one of these artists who actually knows how to appreciate what and where he is.
And he's not a yesterday guy. He's all time. It's important not to live in the past. Some of the musicians, it's yesterday. I like my yesterday, but I'm also now. You know, and if I hear something new that catches me, could be some young guy of just barely 20 years old, and I like it, I'm gonna give it some respect. You know.
Is that what keeps? Do you think is that very important? Do you think that's important for keeping even your career alive?
I don't know about other people, but for me, I'm just curious, but not to go too deeply into it. But I'm interested in what's happening now and some of where it's going. But I'm more a guy who appreciates where it came from and those are my roots, including Jamaica. You know, how I was as a kid. But it's a journey. There is no written prescription or recipe. Anybody trying to tell you this is it, don't believe it.
Okay.
So there's no one way, you know. It's just a wonderful.
Or your way, or
Yeah, and what you like, you know, is different strokes for different folks. We used to say.
Lastly, I just want to ask you a little bit about the studio scene in Jamaica. I mean, you grew up right in Jamaica, so how important were the studios? Did you ever go through Randy's studio by any chance?
No, but Randy's was just about coming along, and they were doing their thing, and I did not really have much to do there in Jamaica. Absolutely, Mrs. Patchin and what she's doing with VP is just tremendous. I really applaud.
Oh, and she's such a fan of yours. I
Well,
often see her in the
best of
front
friends.
row.
Me too. We're the best of friends. But I must tell you that those times nobody knew what the future was going to bring, but people were curious because about the same time that was going on in Jamaica, Motown was beginning.
Oh, right.
And Memphis Stax was beginning. So like it's funny about the timing. All this stuff was going on at the same time, where people from the neighborhood, Berry Gordy and Coxon and Stax and everybody was like, they said they were musicians maybe or whatever, but they want to record it. They said something good here, and it just took on a whole life of its own. So it keeps on. The difference is that there were more musicians, artists then, where now we have technology, and they're learn how to do tricky things in the studio. A woman who can't really sing a song, they can fool the public because they have a thing called an auto-tuner. And they can make it look like the girl, the woman, the guy, whoever can sing. They can't sing nothing, hardly. Can't carry a tune in a bucket. In a bucket, you can't even carry it. A tune, I know. It's so nice talking with you.
It's really amazing. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to, who's the guest tonight?
The guest is each of us on that bandstand, including myself.
Of course.
And the music, that's the guest.